Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome to another English lesson where I have the opportunity to help you improve your English comprehension, vocabulary, and fluency. On today's lesson, I have a how to English lesson. I am going to teach you how to talk about the change of the seasons, specifically about pollen season, how to talk about allergy season, how to talk about pollen season. I'm going to give you some phrases that you can learn and use in your conversations. I hope you're ready to laugh and learn. Let's dive into today's lesson. So, the first phrase or sentence that you can use when talking about pollen season or allergy season is, I have allergies, so I need to be careful during pollen season. Again, I have allergies, so I need to be careful during pollen season. You know, I wanted to film this lesson outside. We have had rain for 4 or 5 days straight, and it is 72 degrees on a March day here in the United States. I am in the state of Georgia, but the pollen is beginning to come out. The seasons are changing. The leaves are coming back on the trees. And hopefully later in the week or this weekend, I'll go back outside. It's a little mushy, but it's pollen season now. It's when the flowers are starting to bloom and produce pollen, and it gets in the air and it affects so many people. It causes your eyes to itch, your throat to itch, your ear. You ever had your ear inside and you're just trying to scratch it on the inside? And it's just, it's horrendous. And it depends on your body chemistry. And so it lasts here for about 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. And it's just so thick. It's like layers all on the cars. And so maybe this season I will show you what it's like here when we have pollen season. Up north, you don't have a lot of pollen season. We have pollen down south because of the types of trees that we have, oak trees and all these different type trees that produce pollen. And it's just, I'm telling you, it is something to experience. So these are some more phrases that you can use. Pollen season makes my eyes itch and my nose run. Pollen makes my eyes itch. My eyes itch during pollen season. My nose runs. It's just something that you have to deal with when you're in the southern region of the United States of America. Another phrase or sentence that you can use is keep the windows closed during pollen season. Yeah, you can't keep the windows up. You have to close them because the pollen will come in. It will get in your clothes. It will get in your pet. If you have a pet, it will get all in their fur. It will get on your furniture. It will get in your hair. And this is what I hate. It will get in your bedroom on your pillow. And so when you lay down to sleep, there's pollen all in your face. Oh, and so one great phrase to know or sentence is keep the windows closed during pollen season. Another sentence or phrase is check the pollen count before going outside during pollen season. Check the pollen count. So it is very standard or customary during pollen season. On the news, they will report if it's heavy pollen or light pollen. You can actually do a Google search and put pollen count for United States, or put pollen count for the state of Georgia. And you'll see that some days it's high and some days it's moderate. But during pollen season, it's always high. So it's good to check the pollen count. Pollen season usually starts in spring and lasts until early summer. Just like I said, pollen season lasts for about 2 months. And if it's really bad, it's for about 2.5 months. And so from early spring or late spring to early summer. Now, if we get a lot of rain during pollen season, that helps bring some relief and comfort. So a lot of rain during March and April and some of May helps to reduce some of the allergies that people experience. Another sentence or phrase that you can use is, some people wear masks to protect themselves from pollen during pollen season. And this is something I do. I wish I would have thought of this back when I was a child or a teenager. Just wear a mask and it will help reduce the pollen intake into your system. Because for me, when the pollen hits, I get sleepy, I get irritable, and it's just, it's horrendous. Pollen season can be tough for people with asthma. So asthma has to do with someone who has a tough time breathing because of what's going on in their lungs. Let's read this again. Pollen season can be tough for people with asthma because the air quality is not that good. And so it's hard to breathe. Another sentence that you can use during pollen season or allergy season is, I take antihistamines to help with my allergies during pollen season. Antihistamine. So an antihistamine is an over-the-counter drug that helps clear up certain symptoms that come with allergies. So a person that may have a runny nose or red eyes, or irritated eyes or itchy throat, antihistamines help with that. Look at this eye. Ugh. That is disgusting. Another sentence as we wrap it up. Do you have any tips for dealing with pollen season? So someone may ask for help. What do you do to deal with pollen season? Do you have any tips? Do you have any advice? So for me, I like to tell people, look, wear a mask. There are certain herbs that you can take to help when it comes to pollen season that I know I take, so I don't have to take anything that's pharmaceutical. So there are a number of tips and hacks or home remedies that people use to help during pollen season. And if you want to know, you would just ask someone, do you have any tips or advice? And the last season for allergy season is, I try to avoid going outside when pollen levels are high during pollen season. Now, that's a flower in his hand. It looks like a cigarette or some weed, but it's actually a flower. And so again, I try to avoid going outside when pollen levels are high during pollen season. Yes, I stay indoors and I run the air condition and I try to stay away from being outside. And if I have to go outside, I just put a mask on. So these are some sentences and phrases that you can become more accustomed with and use during allergy season or pollen season. Well, as always, I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. My name is Jay, and I have plenty of videos on YouTube to help you to improve your English. I hope you take advantage of them as well as share them with someone that is trying to improve their English. That would really help me to reach as many people as I can. If you are not a subscriber, consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed my presentation, I would greatly appreciate a like. Until next time, I hope you join me on my next English lesson.